Hello, 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 and welcome to Girl, Let's Agree to Disagree with Kemi, and Hannah is just right on. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Hello, hello. We just started. Everybody's here. Before we go into anything else, we just want to say, same old same, click like, subscribe, click to receive our notifications if this is your first time. Share this with someone that you think would love this. We do our Bachelor recaps every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And we also do the challenge recaps every Thursday at the same time.
I would say that I see an OG account in the chat. AYTOT2, I was following before I ever got onto reality TV, and sometimes I see old comments, resurfacing, and I have to quick delete them before people know I was talking shit. So just wanted to say hello to AYTOT2.
Hey. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, we also want to say hello to everybody that's trickling in. Hey, Mark, Caitlin, BB Fan, Giovanni, Joseph, thank you for following us and always coming to our show because y'all are ride or dies. We love it. We love to see it, and we love to talk Bachelor to you. Today is no different. It was a great episode last night. I personally loved it. What did you ladies think?
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a solid episode. There's quite a bit to discuss, but it was good.
Yeah, we actually leave off on we leave on drama, of course. So the show started off with one of the last mean girls, MJ, as proclaimed mean girl. MJ, and
she's a proclaimed love and light and peace and happiness girl.
Exactly.
She's all about empowerment.
Leading by example.
Yes. So I kind of want to get this take on what you thought about this argument. For those who are in the chat, let us know what you think. MJ versus Justinia, what side were you on?
I think she really thought that some of these quotes were gonna hit some of the things, like the little sound bites. I feel like she was really trying with some of the little they've knocked me down, but I'm not gonna stay that way because I'm a bad bitch and blah blah blah. And I feel like she really thought those were gonna hit and be her moment, and it just
put them on a t-shirt. Yeah.
It didn't do it.
Wasn't given what she thought it gave. And honestly, it was so embarrassing because these are all 20-something-year-old women, and that was really giving me junior year of high school vibes. I'm a bad bitch. All right, calm down.
Her whole big hoops, big hair, big energy. I was like, girl, this is really giving me Target t-shirt circa 2014 or Tumblr, it wasn't doing it for me.
I'm actually genuinely curious as to whether she believed the lies, if she was actually thinking that she didn't spew this amount of hate toward the girls. Who here thinks that she literally just forgot she said all of those things?
I think it's a case of when people are super bitchy, they always think they're the nicest person on earth. It's always the people who are oh my God, I love your hair. She box dyes it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that sort of thing. And
it's giving very Regina George, oh my God, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it? And then she's like, that's the ugliest bracelet I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo, so okay, Kemi, your girl. I apologize. I don't even know if it's a girl or not, but they are Team MJ.
No.
So I'm very curious about this because I want to see what in a person's mind do they look at MJ and say, yeah, MJ totally had the right for that, because everything that she said was false. I mean, Justinia was just telling, in my opinion, I thought, well, she was just literally spitting facts. Like, that's what she said. That's what she said. And MJ at no point denied it. She just kind of kept on throwing it back at her, almost like deflecting the situation.
I mean, I'm not either of their sides. Like, I'm not team either of them. Justinia can go as far as I'm concerned. MJ, I'm glad she's gone. I mean, she was definitely giving me cool girl vibes, and you know how I feel about that.
She's just pretty. Like, that's literally it. She just is a pretty.
She's blonde.
I think she's a pretty girl. Like, I think she is a very pretty girl. I liked her look before her personality really showed. I think she's got a cute hair, cute little like natural look going on with her, but I think that is clouding people's vision to her and not allowing them to see some of the meanness. I see a lot of people on Twitter that are like, I'm team MJ because she's hot, and I think that's pretty much as far as it goes for her quality wise.
That's the Hamza thing. I was back and forth with him, and he's just like, MJ. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, so what? She said that once. Like, she's still hot. This is Caitlin says, according to people who went to high school at MJ, that's the way she was portrayed on the show, is who she actually is. She had names for her groups in high school, like celery, for people who were skinny.
What?
Is skinny.
She's skinny. What?
Volleyball. She gives me volleyball vibes. Like, she looks like she was like, you know, she looks like she played volleyball, if anything. Like, I can't see her playing like lacrosse or like field hockey or anything, but or track. It's giving me volleyball. And you know me, y'all, third eye. So
yeah. Nails T says, yeah, Justinia's fake because she also made fun of the new girls and they have her on tape. Look, I think that anyone who wasn't Katie is on that bandwagon.
I don't remember anything specifically about Justinia, but also like she didn't stand out to me at all until this kind of like interaction. So she very well could have and just been in the crowd and we didn't realize it, because I literally don't remember her whatsoever up until this point. I think a lot of them are very like guilty by association. There's just some that like stand out worse than others. But yeah, I think literally some of the only girls that weren't like laughing along in certain conversations were her, what's her name? Katie, and like Michelle. I don't think I've ever seen Michelle on any of the drama or anything like that.
She was one of the new girls, so I guess she would be. But Justinia, I don't see the connection. So Matt doesn't I feel like I understand they're on a timeline, so there have to be a certain amount of people each episode, but I don't see it. He didn't have to give her a rose. He could have just let her go on her merry way, because I didn't.
Even in his little speech where he was like, MJ, I really feel like, I've connected with you. I liked your personality a lot, blah, blah, blah. Like he seemed more heartfelt even in his like little speech towards MJ more than he did with Justinia. He just kind of gave Justinia the like, you're an incredible woman, blah, blah, blah. Like there's nothing like personal in that at all, which I think is telling, because I don't think they really have had much of a connection, at least from what we've seen.
Yeah.
There's somebody in the comments too talking about Serena C. Yeah, she needs to go. I don't like that girl either. Not a fan.
I was indifferent towards Serena C, and then I saw something on Twitter. She really does not give a fuck if she's hated. Like, and I love that attitude. Like she had, I guess on her story, she was like, I hope that everyone it wasn't even in a condescending way. It's like, I don't want to put out negativity into the world and blah, blah. And, that's how I'm choosing to move forward. But the only thing that I really need people's opinions on is my next outfit. So here's a poll. Like, what? I love that. I love her now. Now I love her. I didn't really care. You know, I wanted to like her at first, and then she was like, relax. And then now that I've seen this, I'm like, oh girl, you might get the follow. She might have just copped a new follower. I don't know, but I feel like she's gonna go home soon.
Yeah, she'll definitely I think she'll definitely go home. But yeah, it seems like Serena C is definitely it seems like she doesn't care at all, very unbothered. Me in particular, I think that it was basically what she decided to hop on the hate Katie train to make herself relevant. It was a very relevant situation because it makes no sense. It's like, okay, you're over it. Just get over it. Like, what are you trying to prove here in going after Katie now? As you can tell, I'm kind of a hardcore Katie girl.
Yeah, I was until I heard I was really loving Katie until I heard she was going to be the next Bachelorette. It's like, I mean, like,
he's like the most relevant person right now.
She got one or two good edits, and all of a sudden she's our Bachelorette. We're not even down to the final 6. Like, and she got sent home, and she didn't even give a good exit interview in her car ride home. Like, absolutely not. Like, I don't want to see her season of The Bachelorette. You know what it's going to be? You know exactly what her season's going to be. Like, it's going to be all about openness and, like, self-acceptance through understanding your inner child. Like, that is not what I want to see from a Bachelorette.
No, that was Claire. That was Claire. I think there's more going to be more. I think it'll be a little bit funnier and more.
Yeah, I'm done with the quirky. Like, unless we're getting another Caitlin Bristowe, I
think it's gonna be like Caitlin Bristowe. She gives me very Caitlin Bristowe vibes. I think it's gonna be a lot more like that, which I like. Like, that's what I want. I want someone who is, you know, pretty and sexy and funny and like just all of them. And I think she has potential. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
The what?
No, I was just curious. You know, I was just curious.
I think Katie, she actually admittedly on, I think it was either Instagram or Twitter, her style is a little lacking in certain areas. And she even said that. She was like, I don't have style. But the good thing about The Bachelor and Bachelorette is you have a stylist. And I think with a little wardrobe up, she's going to shine.
And a makeup crew, because her makeup that night was a choice.
I think there's a lot of potential, and she is very naturally beautiful. And with the right makeup team, she's gonna look bomb. I'm excited for her.
I hope that this is fake news, because listen, I'm just not feeling it. Like,
I do think it's early. It's too early to announce it, but
I want to know how Steve got this information, because in all honesty, there was obviously a long list of like replies on this, and one of them happened to be Mari, not to be confused with Mari. It was Mari, and she responded with false. And then Katie herself on her Instagram stated that was news to her. So it might not even be that she is, you know, the next Bachelorette. Maybe they're doing maybe they were trying to figure it out and see, kind of test the temperature in the room.
Just to say, I would love to see Michelle as our Bachelorette. My naturally confident and sure of herself, knowing herself queen. I absolutely love Michelle. I also really like Brie. I like her story. She reminds me a lot of myself. So I would love to see either Michelle or Brie as our next Bachelorette. Definitely not Katie. Definitely not Katie. I mean,
Serena P would be good too. Serena P, I think she would be good. She's got a good personality too. But I don't know. I just think it's too early regardless. They shouldn't. I wish it hadn't. I know they haven't officially announced it, but it's too early in the season for all of this. We're not even at hometowns. I don't know.
Hometowns, which is the reason why Katie shouldn't even be in the running. We know nothing about her aside from, the obvious.
I think sometimes though that they see, like, producers see things that we don't see with, like, personality wise, because like Hannah Brown didn't make it to hometowns, and I thought her season was really good.
She gave a really good exit interview. I will choose to be loved. Like that whole thing, like she nailed it. Katie did not nail it. I did like Hannah Brown on Colton's season though, but it's also because oh my God, I hated Colton so much. Can we, not to get off track, but you know that meme that's like, yeah, sex is great, but blank, blank, blank. This is how I feel. Like, yeah, whatever is great, but have you ever been right all along? I knew something was wrong with Colton. I always hated him. Like, not hated, but like I could not stand him. And then when all this like tracking Casey and like all of that came out, it feels so good to be right all along.
Well, his ex-girlfriend who's the gymnast, what's her name? Allie, I forget her last name. She's a really like famous gymnast, and she did interviews during his season or either before when he was on whoever's season he was on, and talked about kind of like his possessiveness and like that, like those traits, literally like all of the signs. Allie Reisman, that was her name, talking about like all of the signs and like red flags that she got with that. And it's just like,
romanticize that. Like, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, no, especially people my age, like they think that shit's cute. They'd be like, "Oh, well, he cares." Like, no, no, that is not it. But no, you're totally right. I really enjoyed the girls from Colton season, but he was not it at all. But anyways,
for him either.
We haven't had great bachelors recently.
No. Peter was terrible.
Peter was god awful. Ugh.
Tyler C. Well, we'll get to Tyler C later. But yes, let's move on.
Let's move. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get there because we literally only got to the MJ and Justinia debacle. He ends up not giving the rose to MJ, walks her out, and she's just like dumbfounded, right? At the end of the day, he does the cocktail party, lets go of Ryan. Girl Maggie, the gorgeous, she needed more time. I'm so mad that I didn't even get to, like, we didn't even get to see her personality, because she literally shines on Instagram. Her Instagram is flipping gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Chicago girl, unfortunately, I forget her name.
Brianna, I think.
No.
Brittany?
I have no idea.
See, and
the girl that they tried to accuse of being an escort, did she?
Yes. And see, and this is the problem. Now she will never know, nobody will ever know her name, and they'll just call her escort girl. Like, that's horrible. But yes, that's who I was
I'm sorry, Brittany. I won't call you girl.
See, but so everybody will now always be like, oh yeah, the escort girl. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And then they do the dates. So they start the date card. Piper gets her first one-on-one. She's adorable. I like Piper. She's really cute.
She's cute. She doesn't like stand out to me for whatever reason, but she is very cute. The date was really cute. Can we talk about how cute the little personal fair or carnival was? And really like cute. The budget for that compared to like the little carnival they did on Tayshia's season. Like, damn.
I am curious if the leads have a hand in selecting the music, because if I'm the lead and I walk out and I see, you know, Dan and Shay, I'm going to be fuming. Like, is this just to like pander to the greater audience? I like, if I walk out and I don't see Frank Ocean, I'm like, what did I sign up for? Like, if I don't see Bryson Tiller, it's like, who do I need to speak with a man? It's straight Karen vibes. Like, I want to know who, like, does Matt listen to country music? I mean, I could see him listening to country music.
Probably.
I just, like, I'm so over it. Like, how much country do we need?
They
Yeah.
always do country. They've always done country. It's
I'm
so
like-
annoying.
I'm
Okay,
like,
I have a question. Is country popular?
What?
Is country music popular? It
Yes.
is popular. Okay.
Wait, that's a really, I don't,
Well, I mean,
what do you
I
mean?
don't know. Like, I don't know. I know, like, some of my friends listen to country. Like, I had my friend make me a country playlist when I was, like, preparing myself to be on Big Brother, because I already knew. But, like, I didn't know if it was, like, you know how, like, EDM it's popular, but it's not, like, mainstream.
I would say country music is definitely very popular, and the problem is that like most of these groups or like people that they have come and do these things are not like, I'm not like a country music expert, but I do live pretty close to Nashville, and most of these people are not like great or like big country music people or whatever. But yeah, it's very big, but not my cup of tea, but it's definitely popular.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, I understand, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, I mean, come on. I don't know. Like, sometimes I feel like we're watching the exact same show with, like, just a different main character. And it's just like,
I want to
Honestly,
know.
agree.
Yeah, I want to know if Matt knows who Temecula Road is, because he's like, oh my God, Temecula Road, as if like, that was just the most popular band on the face of this earth. Like, oh my God, they were at Stagecoach. Mind you, I just found out about Stagecoach last year when we were on Big Brother. Like, I had no clue what the hell
yeah, I had no idea what that was.
I don't okay, Stagecoach, yes.
The only reason I knew what Stagecoach was because of the Kaylin and Blake drama from Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes.
That's the only reason I knew what that shit was.
And
Which
you're
also
closer to
proves the
Nashville than
point.
anything.
Huh?
That makes me feel good because you're closer to Nashville than anything. So I would think that you would know.
Baby, Stagecoach is in California.
I know, but I mean, it's all country music, and I
We
mean,
have CMA Fest. CMA Fest is the thing, and it is expensive and very popular here. But that's like not the same as Stagecoach, I guess. But anyways.
We have Made in America over here.
absolutely. I'm dying because Busy, like, hey Busy, we love you, Busy. It was like it was broke. I didn't know anything about Tubercular Street. Nope, that's true. I wouldn't have remembered Temecula if it wasn't actually a place in California, which is probably very close to where
It's all
Coach is. I'm pretty sure it's close to Temecula. Did we lose him?
I think she's fixing her mic or her camera.
Awesome. Well, okay, so we're just gonna keep going. Piper, it was super cute. And then we have after that she gets the rose. Did I miss anything particular on Piper?
It was not noteworthy to me.
No. Cute. I mean, I love myself a good fair. I definitely love going to like Six Flags and fairs and all that good stuff. So that would have been like a perfect date. I feel like it's just a really great date. But other
then they had the group date.
Yes. Then yes. So then, and we already talked about Serena and Katie. So they had a whole little debacle there.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to talk about that? Do you guys feel like Serena is in the right to call Katie out? Was Katie in the right? Like, was this just extra drama just cause?
I think that Serena definitely believes that Katie was the one that was at fault. I don't think she's right, but I definitely think that she in her mind feels that if Katie hadn't brought all this up, that it wouldn't have been focused on all of the bullying and whatever that she said. But also Serena was not the one on the receiving end of any of the like hatefulness. So of course she was not a fan of that. But I don't know. That's my take. I think she definitely feels that time was taken away, but I think it was valid.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kimmy?
I agree. I mean, I can definitely see both sides. Like, I can definitely see both sides. But Carolina did mention in the comments, I did also think that it was interesting that Piper talked about how her family isn't very like expressive when it comes to emotions. And, you know, I definitely can see that because like my family's the same way. And like, I feel like I wish they showed more of like Matt's reaction to that conversation and like if his like family is that way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we get to know a lot about the women, but not about Matt's reaction to them being open with him.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I think honestly, that's kind of like a recurring thing with this season. I feel like we don't know that much about Matt, even though he is like the lead. Like, I really couldn't tell you that much about him, which I feel like, you know, normally we do see more of them beforehand, you know, on the season that they're on before. But even with him being the star, like, I really don't know that much about him. I don't know.
I think it's intentional too. I feel like, especially in the very, very beginning, like the first episode, he mentioned something that really stuck out to me because it was pointed to me on my season. And it was just like, when you have something to prove, you tend to be kind of a very boring person because you're trying to act right for the people that you're trying to represent. In this case, he mentioned in his first episode that he was really scared of how he was going to be portrayed being being biracial because he doesn't want to make the white people angry and he doesn't want to make the black people angry. So I don't think that him not showing a lot on his end is I think it's intentional. I think he may be holding off a lot of things to the public right now. What do you think?
I feel like that makes sense for like something like our show because, you know, it's easy. I feel like, you know, the producers still have a job at the end of the day. Like they can make anyone seem interesting. Like they can make anyone seem lively. Like he's been laughing, showing all his molars. Like, you know, they can make anyone seem likable, et cetera, but they're not giving us that. So I feel like it's more of a production thing than a Matt thing. Like Matt can do anything and they can make him look interesting, good, sexy, like appealing. But they could also like, maybe they're doing exactly what you're describing. Like they don't want to give a reason, anything that could possibly be used to tear him down.
Yeah.
Because the Lord knows that it would be the case.
The thing is that that's almost nearly inevitable. Like there's always going to be people that don't like him. There are going to be people that love him and there's going to be people that hate him just the same. It's like he cannot, like, if we've learned anything, and is that you cannot make everybody love you. So there's always going to be someone who's not going to like you.
Yeah.
And so this whole people pleaser thing, which I have noticed about Matt, like Matt is a pleaser. And even in the way he gets rid of girls, he says it in a way that is just, it's like, wow, that was just so nice. Are you breaking up with me? I don't get it. Like, is that a breakup? Or,
yeah,
you know,
that's the type of guy that you can't, like, you'd have to break up with him. Like, anything would have to be a mutual breakup, because if he tried to do it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll see you next week. Like,
yeah, and just for everybody who's asking, Hannah's having some camera issues, so she's gonna jump back. She's just switching her camera stuff, so equipment issues. So we can just keep going. Yeah, with all of that being said, where are we at? Heather. That's right around the time she rolls up, completely maskless and
maskless.
Like, just like, hey, I came to crash the Tampa party. I don't know, like, this was wild. Are we assuming that this was not created, that she didn't call production ahead of time?
She begged to be on the show. Absolutely. She definitely begged to have her shot at Matt, because in this panoramic, there's no way they're just letting an ex-contestant in California, who lives in California, that's a literal hotspot, like, just roll up and quarantine and then just start filming. Like, for what? We're talking about liability here. There's no way. So she definitely called up and was like, please. Give me
and to my point in calling Matt a people pleaser, he like he let Heather come in after he now has only 12 girls.
He was tickled. Okay, he's like, what are you like? He skipped his ab workout that day because he was laughing so hard. And I'm just like, that's how you know, like, he would never be into her, because if it was like Miss Tayshia walking up, he would have been like, oh. But Heather, no.
Busy Blue is like, thank God Heather showed up. I was bored after the bowling date bored. You just want drama. You just looking for drama. Like, I mean, I get it. We want that drama. And I guess Heather is going to be the next one to serve it.
I'm so sick of the crying. Like, I just, like, you know, you've been in this environment before. You know that when people have their time taken away, they're going to be upset. So here you come in, inevitably going to take up time no matter what, whether you don't stay or do stay. And then it's like, oh my God, I can't believe people are so mean. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm so sick of crying. Like, I'm so sick of the crying on these shows.
Yeah, so the whole thing, okay, so here's the weirdest thing, right? So she comes in, she's like, can I talk to Chris Harrison? Oh my God, Heather, what are you doing here? Oh no, now you have to quarantine for the 2 weeks that it takes, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, I don't want to see you quarantining. I don't care, girl. I don't care that you're losing your mind. Like, there's nothing about this. Like, there's just, am I mean? Is that me being mean? There's nothing that I care about seeing this girl in quarantine. She was literally exhausting. I was just like, this girl has no business.
She's like, I'm eating pizza. Oh my God, how
cool. Like, I'm eating pizza during quarantine. This is so hard. I need human interaction. This is the hardest thing. I'm just like, this is what we do on a daily basis, bitch. So you obviously must not be quarantining back from wherever you are, Miss Pretty Privileged Princess. I don't
know, Jess. Tell us how you really feel.
It's just so, I don't know. It just seemed very staged. It seemed just very off. But I'm more upset again because I don't direct my anger toward women.
Are you sure?
I direct it toward the men that enable this type of buffoonery. And to me,
by that you mean production, right?
By that, it's production or Matt, who let production just say, yeah, sure, she could come on in. I'm sorry, Mr. People Pleaser, wanting to create a safe space for the girls who are already, calling it old school versus new school and all of this other shit. You knowing your girls, you're going to bring another bitch in? Like, just easy peasy?
Jeez, Jess.
I mean, Can I get an amen in the chat? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me, Jessica, you're full of shit. I mean, just let it go. But at the same time, it's kind of like
you're full of shit. Just let it go. I mean, I feel as though
you literally just wanted to say that to me. She says that to me every day in text. You guys should see this.
I mean, the question is, do I ever lie about these things? Probably not.
Hannah's back.
Hello. I'm sorry. My camera is just like having some issues, but we're back. Okay, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Heather and her grand entrance. Not her grand entrance, but the very first entrance in stating that she wanted to talk to Chris Harrison.
Why did she not just text this man? Why didn't they just text? Like, you know, she could have got his number easily. She could have DM'd him. I don't know. I don't understand. Did we just want more followers? Like, did we, what?
It definitely begs the question, like, why now? Like, Matt has been around for a minute. Like, everyone knew about Tyler's, like, hot black friend. Like, he's not news. Like, he wasn't named the Bachelor, and it's like, oh my God, who is this guy? Like, we all knew about him. Absolutely. I knew about him. I was inches away from his DMs at one point. So it's like, Heather, if you really wanted him, you could have had him a year ago, months ago, something. So, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking, Hannah, about like how she just rolled up maskless, just unassuming, totally privileged princess, thinking she's going to get into the gates and just like, oh my God, and now we're in quarantine and we had to see this mess go through quarantine.
Wait a minute. This is not we's position on this. This is Jessica's position on this.
Yes, Kemi actually liked watching her quarantine.
No, okay, no. I'm just saying, like, I just think it's a waste of time. I don't think that, I don't have any strong opinions about it aside from, were these girls not giving? Like, why did they allow this to happen? Like, did they not have enough spice for the show, enough sazon for the show? Like, I don't understand why this was even, like, entertaining.
I think it's like a waste of her time, too. Like, why? I don't get why they, like, allowed this to happen. Because I'm going to be really honest. Like, I don't believe for a second that this girl just decided she was going to roll up without talking to somebody, without talking to producers and finding out that it was okay, like without like streamlining this through all of them. So, or like, honestly, but without it even probably being their idea. Like, I just don't understand why. Like, I don't.
And Chris Harrison literally framing Matt, saying it's not even my decision. It's Matt, saying it's Matt, and then throwing all of that, throwing Matt under the bus and saying, well, obviously Heather's there because Matt wants more. He wants more girls. Obviously, he can't see his wife in the 12 that he already has.
I don't think that's the case. I think Matt already has his mind pretty made up. I think he already knows who he's picking. It seems very obvious to me, but I just don't get the whole Heather thing. And Chris Harrison's acting did not convince me. I was not convinced that he was very like Heather.
I was dying at how far they were from the gate. Busy, yeah. The nerve. Are you not embarrassed?
It was just not necessary. I think the whole time we were just kind of being like, why? But yeah.
This is also a good point, Makisha. Like, why Heather? Like, out of the entire Triple HD, Heather is probably and I don't want to be mean because I'm sure she's a nice person, but when we're like, the most interesting thing about her was the fact that she's never been kissed. So it's like,
well, she's really the only option. Like, Hannah Brown is really good friends with him, and is on and off with Tyler, whatever that whole thing was, whatever. Hannah Godwin is engaged, and then Demi. Let's be real. In what universe do Demi Burnett and Matt James end up together? Like, what in what universe do
That's
those
the universe I'd
personalities?
love to live in, to be honest. Like, it sounds kind of lit. Like,
It sounds lit, but it does not work. Like, there's just no way that those personalities go together unless there is a side of Matt that we have not seen, because I'm not seeing it.
Kemi, who would you have wanted to roll up?
honestly, I would love to see from Colton's season, probably Katie, because I feel like Katie, a lot of her time was wasted on obviously Colton's season because he was, a terrible human being, trash, and let's not even get into the book debacle, like his book shenanigans. Just I don't even want to talk about that.
Book.
He wrote a book and like about
Chris.
Colton.
Oh, you're talking about Colton.
Yeah, so like Katie had her time wasted with Colton, and then Chris, who she was dating on Paradise, like to me it was just a classic case of like trying to fix the broken boy and then like you becoming broken in the process. Like I hate that for her. And I think that I follow her on Instagram. She's very in tune with her inner self. Like I really like her. I wish it was her rolling up because I would have been able to take it serious instead of Heather. Like, please.
The Heather thing to me, it just doesn't make sense. And it's not that I don't think that their personalities could go together. It just doesn't make sense to me because you have been in close circles with each other's friends for at least the last year. And so it's just like, if you genuinely were just like very interested in this person, like why now? Like why? I just don't get it.
Let me tell you, okay? When we post this to YouTube, we can cut this. Okay, 4209, we can cut this section out.
Oh God.
Heather being a virgin is just, I mean, I'm assuming that she is still a virgin. If she is, I don't know if she is or not, but I just feel like, I mean, we'll get into this later with like Katie, but I just feel like it's going to take a very strong woman to be dating Matt with Tyler literally being right there. I mean, let's paint the picture. That little massage date that they have, right? Katie and Matt come busting in. Tyler's there, not in boxers, in boxer briefs. If I'm Matt, I would have been looking to see where Katie's eyes were going, because if it's me, I would be reciting the alphabet backwards in my head so that I can focus. Because you just like, it's just not like, it's an unfair test to have. And I just feel like Heather, she would have been frightened. Like it's just not like, I just don't see Heather fitting in. I think, Hannah, you mentioned this, like fitting in with their circle of friends. Like it's just not, no. Anyways, moving on.
I don't know.
I think we've taken enough time on Heather. We haven't even gone to the group date. I mean, who doesn't love bowling? He's looking for a bowling queen. Apparently, I was laughing when Kit said, "So you want your wife to like know how to bowl?"
Kit was not having it, and I was like, I kind of get it. She was not holding back her disdain with some of these group dates, and I don't blame her.
It's like we're carrying shoes in a panoramic. Really?
That's true. That's kind of little. It's like, okay.
You're putting your fingers in those balls in a pandemic. Like, I just feel like we know now how disgusting, regular life actually is. And like, just to see it on the screen and like, I don't know. No.
Yeah, I think bowling is a cute date. I don't think it was a bad group date. It's definitely a step above some of their other ones where they're like fighting. But But no, Kit has probably never worn bowling shoes.
I don't think she even knows what bowling was prior to this. She probably was like, so what do? You take the ball and you throw it where? Like, I gotta put my finger where? I don't know.
Anyways, it was boring. There was nothing super eventful about this day except for they tried to like be like, oh, only one group of you are gonna get to go to the after party, blah blah blah. Then the pink team, yeah, so sad. Then the pink team wins, and the blue girls go home, but then they get to go anyways. So what was the whole fucking point of the last 15 minutes?
The girls to cry. I think
on Peter's season. This happened on Peter's season, right? Where one group lost, and then he brought the second group, and it created like a whole lot of drama. Why would they do that again? But I
think they literally just wanted certain girls, like more screen time for certain girls that weren't gonna be there. I think that's it. But yeah,
I agree.
Nothing super monumental happened on this group date, I feel, unless I'm forgetting something.
No, it was I think that they really focused on Chelsea and her need for, that one-on-one time with Matt. It seems that, she just really wants that time. She thought she was really going to get it. She thought maybe it was just like editing and production making us believe that she might get this group rose, but at the end of the day, she didn't get it. And, Michelle gets the rose. So it's kind of like, oh, well, and Matt with his hand on everybody's thigh. It's like, it's funny how these guys maneuver. It's just like these antics, just like he loves to touch thighs.
It's kind of
he's a thigh guy. It's okay. Big thighs save lives. Anyway, okay. So then we go into Katie's date, and with Tyler, and I loved it. I think it was so fun. It was funny. It was funny. I like it.
Hilarious. Like the masseuse getting on the phone with her friend, like Tyler C from Hannah's season. Like I wish they showed Tyler's reaction to her saying, or if it's like, yeah, that happens all the time. Like oh my God, I was like dying for them to show his reaction to that. Because I love Tyler C. Like, I think he's just from what we've seen on Hannah's season, he seems like such a nice guy and just chill. So I thought that would have been like funny to see his reaction.
He would have been nice about it. Like, he's so nice that he would have just been like, oh, that's okay, whatever. But it was a cute date. They just give me very like best friend vibes. Like, I've never really seen any like big romantic gesture or like between them. And part of it is like, I don't know if there's just not like a physical attraction between them, but part of me wonders, like, with Matt, do we think that like the way that Katie came in, like when she brought in like the vibrator, and she comes in kind of like a mixture of like silly and like, just like talking about being sex positive and stuff like that. Like, do we think that maybe that like shifted Matt's opinion? Because to me, Matt doesn't give me vibes of like Matt gives me vibes of being into girls that are more like yeah, like kind of like
conservative.
I don't even want to say conservative because I don't know that like conservative is the right word, but like more like low key.
Yeah, like leaves it to the imagination.
Yes, leaves it to the imagination. I feel like he likes that. Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from him, is that like not a girl, like not a wait till marriage girl, but like not public about that kind of thing girl.
Like like a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
Yeah, like not Hannah Brown, like not someone who's like, the windmill speech 5 times. Like, I don't think that would be into that. I think it would be more like, one of my faves, obviously.
More like definitely after Fantasy Suites. I think the speech we're going to get from Matt is going to be like we had a really amazing night and we just connected on a new level. Like, that's what we're going to get. That is the speech that we're going to get from him.
And the funny thing is like, again, with the speech and how he broke it down to Katie, it was just like, are you breaking up with her? Are you sending her home? Or are you not sending her home? I don't get it, because it was just like the nicest and the sweetest thing. He's just so great at talking to women.
I think he is very respectful. I think he knows what to say. But I think it's like easier for him with some of these girls that he doesn't really have any connection with, because it's just kind of like the speech and then just go. But.
Busy, we're gonna need to have you on the show, seriously, because some of these comments that you're giving us, like, actually, I didn't even notice. Is he kissing with his eyes open all the time? No. Is he?
People have definitely said that. I haven't like specifically picked up on it, but I've seen quite a few people talk about it.
I didn't even. I honestly didn't even notice that he was doing that. And I see bad guys that do that. Actually,
well, you would never notice because you like a normal human being, your eyes would be closed. Like, I feel like it's giving very much like sleeps with his socks on sort of vibe. Like,
You have problems with men that sleep with their socks on, Kemi. What if it's cold?
I think anyone who sleeps with their socks on is a psychopath. Like,
I like to sleep with fuzzy socks on sometimes.
Me too.
I'm texting Obi right now to let him know to keep an eye open in his sleep.
Oh no.
He knows. He already knows. I touch his foot with my little fuzzy socks. He knows I'd be wearing them.
Kemi, you just attacked a lot of people.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that is
because it wasn't even like you're a bit suspicious. It's like you're a downright psychopath.
It's
all right.
Definitely giving, I will bust out my college level psychology to like figure out what's going on, because I just, if your feet are cold, body heat, baby, rub them together. Like, I don't sleeping with the socks on.
No. I'm not trying to be touched while I'm sleeping. I mean,
sleeping with socks on is like the equivalent to wearing toe socks. How are you not uncomfortable? Like,
that is not the case. I guess admit me one ticket to the ward, because I like sleeping with my little fuzzy socks. A big t-shirt and fuzzy socks are the move for the cold months.
And I think a lot of us are going to be booking times with our therapists this week. So you are not the only person, those that are in the chat talking about it. I think Kemi gave us a lot of things to consider. Made us very, very insecure about ourselves.
Well, that's not my intention. Just like Serena C, please help me pick an outfit.
Well, I mean, so the practical joke is actually on Katie. She went home tonight or yesterday. So she seemed really confused about it too, which I was like, really, girl? Were you not feeling the friend vibe? Because I didn't see you doing any like heavy makeout sessions like he has with all the other girls. What am I missing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Heavy petting, like, I feel like anytime you get sent home, though, you probably feel like, damn, already? Like, oh, damn. I thought I'd make it to at least, whatever. But I just feel like that was the opportunity for her to give her Bachelorette audition, and she completely, like, missed the mark. So...
and this is where you're like thinking that it has to be an audition. Maybe she doesn't want, or maybe she wasn't thinking about being the Bachelorette, and that was the whole point. Like, she is not a pageant queen. She's a very down-to-earth, regular Joe Schmo type girl. Like, there's not a lot.
Give us something. Like, when she was on her one-on-one, like the night portion, we got nothing. Then you get eliminated. You're in the car going home. This is your last opportunity to give us something. Like, give us something. Like, something, like, even if it's just like, you know, like, here we go. Here's me in my Bachelorette interview. You know, I feel completely blindsided right now. And I do know that with God, gotta connect with the audience, right?
God.
With God, I'm sorry.
Just like that, how you're gonna be laughing.
No. But this is me trying to connect with the audience. This next part. Let His will be done. And I'm sorry. Whatever is meant to be will be, and the right man is out there for me. And if it isn't Matt, I know that God has someone special for me. Perfect. Like, literally, it works for every single candidate ever. So I just, she didn't give what I thought she should have given.
Katie gives me very emotionally mature, realistically, I've spent 5 hours with this man tops, like, it didn't work out. I'm not crushed by it, so let's handle this how a normal sane human would. And that was very very much the vibe.
Like, what woman is sane? I've gone on a second date with a guy, and then like they've broken things off, and I'm like, excuse me, like people, if she actually liked him, that wouldn't have been her reaction. But
that's the whole thing. Like, Katie has been the only person who's acted like a sane human this whole season. So why not give the Bachelorette to the sane person, the one who spoke up against all of the mean girls, the one who actually was very upfront and honest about her sexuality? There was nothing. Like,
I know why, Jess? You want to know why? Because this is reality television.
But you're saying that she failed in all of these ways, but the girls that you want on aren't doing any of that either.
They're not any more interesting than her to me.
Exactly. They're not.
The way the rest of these exit interviews go, we'll see. Because you know what?
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be very much like God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers, and I'm a vet right now because this is the hardest thing I've ever been through.
Absolutely. And I will eat that. I will eat it right up. Just with.
I don't want it. I want Katie and her logic and her sound
much is given, much is tested. I want all the Bible quotes. You know why? Because that means these people came prepared. So
yes. And I agree. I think in the chats we have some people are like, but 12th place, really? And I agree, but I'd rather have Katie have it in 12th place than someone who's like doing plantation parties. Like,
yeah, let's discuss, because
also it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, again, Michelle. But yes, let's discuss.
Let's discuss, because not sure if people are familiar. If you weren't familiar with this kind of thing, it's actually kind of common here in the South. They don't have them at University of Tennessee anymore because of controversy, rightfully so. But yes, those are pretty common in Georgia and Mississippi, Ole Miss. The fraternity, KA, hosts these Old South formals, and people put on these plantation style dresses, and it's really, really gross and weird. But this is also the fraternity who got in trouble a few years ago for doing that racist chant on a bus, so it's not really shocking or out of character for them. And they've been called out for this for years and haven't changed. So,
did Rachel give a statement or anything?
I don't think she's allowed to. So, Reality Steve has said some stuff that I think that she's not allowed to say anything yet. I think she can't talk until like the women tell all or something like that. I'm not sure. But no, she hasn't been allowed to say anything yet.
I'll be interested to see what Matt's reaction. I mean, I'm sure it'll be very diplomatic and very like fair to both sides.
He's given a statement already.
Oh, he has? Oh, what was it?
It was very bland, kind of like that. He was just like, I think give people a chance to, it was something along the lines of like, give people a chance to talk, or, when people are allowed to give their side, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. I'm not.
I can understand that because production probably wrote that for him. Like, he's probably not allowed to say anything. So, yeah.
It's just very disappointing because she is like obviously his favorite at this point, and it's very obvious, but it's like I can't even like root for her. It'd be different, I saw all the stuff at the beginning that was like talking about how she was kind of like mean and a bully in high school, and that's one thing, and I think I could eventually look past that because that was probably 5 to 6 years ago, or around 6 years ago at this point with how old she is. But some of this stuff was like within the past like 2 years. Yeah. And I'm just like, I just can't. It's one thing to like grow to be a mean girl in high school and then grow out of that behavior as you get older. But to be doing all this shit like as a college woman, it's just not excusable to me.
Also, how do you even have the time? Like, life is so hard and just so like exhausting that if you go out of your way to be nasty, like, are you bored? Like, I know you don't have a hobby. Like, I honestly don't get it.
Yeah.
Especially when you're coming on a show like The Bachelor. Like, I guess, no one really knows where their paths is going to lead them, but
I don't know how people don't think that this stuff is going to come up. Like, how are you so stupid to not think that, like, you could go on these shows and this stuff would not come up? Yeah. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I just, like, how could you not think that pictures of you at a plantation party wouldn't come out? I just don't get it.
It's really irresponsible of her, considering like she's going on Matt, the first Black Bachelor season. So it's like you would think that you would at least try to scrub anything. And like there's certain things that can't be scrubbed, like pictures that you're tagged in. You could ask people to take it down, but like I'm sure not everyone in her sorority house liked her. So, whatever.
No, who do you think's sending in this shit? It's people that were like involved in it too. That's definitely who's sending in a lot of this stuff. And it's just like, it's just disappointing. And it's sad I feel sad for Matt in a sense too, because it's like, he didn't know this while this show was going on. Like, I'm sure producers didn't tell him about anything on social media or anything like that. And it's just like, it's kind of a shame too, that like, if he does pick her, in the end, this is going to be something that he has to deal with, and like damage control or whatever, or like, I just can't imagine how hard that conversation would have to be for him. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, like Rachel Lindsay's always saying, like, I feel like her as a Black lead, she had a racist contestant. Now Matt as a Black lead, he's having like, a contestant with like a racist history. So it's like, like, can they catch a break? Like, can they just have a normal season like anyone else? And not to say that anyone else had, a normal season. I mean, I know Colton had to jump that fence, but like, why can't they just have like, not such a heavy responsibility with everything? It just sucks.
Yeah, like, why can't you just be allowed to just be focused on the love and the drama, which is like the whole point of the whole thing, and like the normal stressors of a relationship? Like, I don't think that you should be expecting these people to like have to be like, I just feel like it's so much pressure. Like, I don't know. I just think about like Rachel Lindsay and like how much of a spokesperson I feel like she's had to be in Bachelor Nation, because like there's just been so much pressure on her, I feel like, from like no one else speaks up about things, and so it just feel like it's kind of like an unfair burden to like put on some of these leads to have to like address all of this when it literally should just be like a fun experience for them. I don't know.
That and like having to be like the voice of the people. Like I feel like that's always put on Rachel Lindsay. Like it's like she's speaking for Black people everywhere, which I agree with like 100% of everything that she says, but not everyone does. But you know, the audience is going to take it as that. Well, she said this, so all Black people must feel that way. And it's like she now has to be very like judicious in just anything that she says because of that. So it sucks.
Yeah, it's just way more pressure than I think that their white counterparts ever face in their position at all.
Yeah, and I can only imagine the EPs have a "well, you asked for this" sort of attitude towards it. I just know.
And it's like, no, I asked for social media influence and to fund a spouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not to be a spokesperson for an entire race. Like that's not a fair trade-off for doing this show.
I'm very surprised that Bachelor being as I mean, it has a history of viewers that really go in on the Bachelors and Bachelorettes after, like, there it's a very toxic environment in Twitter and just all over social media. I'm very surprised that Bachelor and Bachelorette, or the whole franchise, doesn't vet these people as much as
I think they do.
Wait. Are you surprised, Jess? Because let us not forget the show that we were on, and when we did our background checks, they came out thick as, you know, me right before the summertime. And what were these people told? To make sure to scrub. So all I'm saying is I put the blame on Rachel for not doing her due diligence, because yes, you know, you can blame production for a certain part of it. Like, you know, they shouldn't be allowing certain types of people on the show. However, you know, everyone has a past. And if they're going to allow these people to be on the show anyways, it is now on them to make sure that your past doesn't come out. So I'm just saying.
I don't believe for a second that these producers don't know every single thing about these people that go on these shows.
Yeah,
if we can find it, they found it 6 months ago. Like, I don't believe for a second that you don't know
one of the main things that I'm sure that they look for is the type of person that you are. Are you the type of person who's going to cause issues for us? And not issues as in a, oh my God, like controversy sort of way, because that's just going to bring them press. Issues as in, are you going to sue us? Like, so if they can find out A, they can definitely find out B. They just don't care about B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On that note, I can't disagree with any of that. And I mean, that's basically where we're ending this, because I mean, the last that I think we talked about everything, including Heather's arrival during the cocktail party, and that's where it ended. And that's what we're gonna see next week, is all of that pretty little drama.
Tears.
Yeah.
Lots of tears.
Lots of tears. And I mean, I don't know if they rightfully so, but
we're about to see some girls lose their shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is like the umpteenth time that this shit is happening to them. It's just about as pissed off as the girls were at Peter for doing some, you know, stupid ass shit, to be quite honest. So
remember when Peter invited Hannah Brown basically to be on his season? Oh God.
Wow.
It can't be worse than him. Matt could do anything and he couldn't be worse than Peter.
I mean, to be honest, Matt saying okay to Heather is not too far. I mean,
We don't know that yet, though. We don't know what he's decided to do. At this point, we don't know what Matt has said. We just know that Heather's been allowed to quarantine and then come talk to Matt. So
it's like, okay, I'll let you quarantine for 2 weeks so that you can just hop in on a dress. We can say hi. Because it almost looked like they didn't know each other. So I'm assuming they didn't know each other. They've never met. Because she said, hi, nice to meet you.
She could be lying. Because he let out a belly laugh. Like, what are you doing here? They at least know of each other.
True. Maybe they're just friendly on IG. And he has
I think he sends her home.
You think?
Yep.
I feel like we should bet on this. You think she's not gonna get the rose? Or an extra stay? Like,
he's already found Rachel. He's already found Rachel, so what does he need Heather for?
I don't think that he is going to keep her for longer than a night. That's my guess.
Okay. It'll be
So
interesting.
We'll see.
Next week. We shall see next week. I think we're going to cut it at that. We want to thank absolutely everybody for tuning in today with us. If you don't already do so, click like, subscribe, click to receive the notification, smash that notification bell because we usually come on every Tuesday for The Bachelorette at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We are also doing the challenge double agent recaps every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So make sure that you follow us, share this with somebody, send us comments. We love to read them and reply. And I think we're just going to keep on seeing a lot of drama. We're weeks away from hometowns, or people coming over with their parents, basically. It'll be interesting to see what girls create, and if the girls are more like creative than the boys on Tayshia's season, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting.
We'll see.
We'll see, and we'll love to talk about it with you guys. Thank you so much. We love you. Thank you for supporting us, and we will see you Thursday. Thursday if you watch the challenge. If not, next week, Monday or Tuesday. Sorry, I was doing so good.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
I feel